those proposals were made. The last legislature, 53rd legislature, did not take a decision. This President George Manawia, as soon as he assumed his office, based on his advocacy that the tenure for these elected offices were so long, he decided to ensure that some of those recommendations from the CRC's committee work were upheld. Therefore, the President, in consultation with the legislature, agreed to reduce the tenure of the office of the President from 6 to 5 years. He also agreed to reduce the tenure for members of the Senate from 9 years to 7 years. He also agreed to reduce the tenure of the offices of the House of Representatives from 6 years to 5 years. Among the proposition also on the recommendation was the issue of changing our election date from second Tuesday in October to the second Tuesday in November. The President also proposed, which a resolution of 2/3 of the legislature agreed to ratify a new proposition which is not part of the original 25 recommendations, the issue of dual citizenship amendment on Article 28 of our Constitution. The President has begun the issue of awareness sometime back. You know, sometimes it's difficult to understand our friends. When the President started awareness, they say, oh, the President campaign before campaign time. And our friends in the opposition went to court to prevent the referendum. I'm pleased to note, I want to ask the reason of the press conference to call all Liberians across the length and breadth of this country, including you, the press, that the referendum is on course, that the Supreme Court has been misrepresented. The Supreme Court did not halt the referendum. The referendum will proceed as planned. And we are also all Liberians that these recommendations are not recommendations coming from the President, are recommendations coming from the people of Liberia. So therefore, we are asking all Liberians to vote yes on each of the 8 propositions that will be on the ballot box. And I say to our friends, when people say there's no sufficient education, my question to them is, what about the 2 years that we took? When I say we, the people of Liberia, took, going across the length and breadth, led by Gloria Moses Carr, former vice chairman of the Unity Party, going from every look and corner of our country, seeking the participation of our citizens. They made no recommendations. We are only implementing what the people said. And so this is now a very long press conference. I'll call you to encourage you. I'll be speaking to some of our friends in the opposition. If you love our country, if you believe that the tenure of office of the President is too long, one of the reasons why we always have conflict in our country is because we want to stay in power too long. The President believes that it's an opportunity for our citizens to always go to the ballot box to decide the leadership. And 6 years is too long of a time. I want to encourage all citizens to support the referendum. There will be 8 propositions. The education is very simple. We're talking to the press, you guys in the press, well, if you love the country, the only way you will not support the referendum except you don't love this country. Except you are a greedy politician who want to stay low in power. You don't want to be able to decide. You know what I mean? But you will be signed up for 9 years. And some of our friends who are running for Senate, they want to be in power for 9 years. And some of them, you know, the Senate does not have a a 10-year limit. So you can be in power for the next 100 years, people continue to vote for you. But we think the people should have an opportunity to decide as quickly as possible. It is good that I'm having the Solicitor General just arrived, who will give you who will be able to elaborate further on the Supreme Court ruling. Because as you know, as soon as the Supreme Court came over its ruling, people are celebrating and saying the referendum is canceled. The referendum is not canceled. We encourage you to make sure that on December 8th, I'm pleased to note that the Election Commission just announced yesterday that it is in the process of printing
both the House and the Senate. That means the publication in the Gazette will not be followed, because the publication in the Gazette to a large extent were confusing. And so each of the amendments will go with a ballot paper. So there will be separate and distinct ballot paper for each of the articles of amendment. And so for the information, the Supreme Court clearly endorsed the referendum, and the referendum will take place as planned. What the Supreme Court said was that they should revert to the resolution passed by both houses as a condition precedent for holding of the referendum. So the referendum is on course. There will be nothing attributed to disturb it. Thank you.
So we will now take questions from the press.
So at this stage, we will invite those of you interested media could.
The Election Commission, along with the political parties, and Liberians who really want to see a change, it is our responsibility to continue to engage in making the awareness. As you know, these proposals came from our citizens. If you ask any Liberian citizen, even in the legal counties, they are in 100% support on trying to reduce, for instance, the tenure offices for elected officials. We just need to show them how to do the voting. That will include you as journalists, especially the media, citizens, for us to go. People are campaigning, there are people who are campaigning right now. Some people are campaigning, but the citizens don't know them. But they go into the citizens to say, I want to be senator. Some of them, they're not very known. Some of the guys who are running, this is their first time. So the same way they are going to the citizens to give their message and introduce themselves, is the same way all of us have to engage in the awareness. The awareness is particularly important for the voting exercise. How people are going to vote, yes or no. When the ballot paper has been printed and presented, it is my understanding it is a yes or no column. So there are two columns. On proposition number 1, for instance, if you agree to reduce the president tenure from 6 years to 5 years, you say yes. If you agree to 5 years, you say yes. If you say no, that means you don't agree. That means the tenure will remain at 6. Do you agree for the president tenure to reduce from 6 to 5? Yes or no? So we are asking our citizens simple. If all of us decide to join the yes campaign, it's a simple thing. We just are sitting across the whole country voting. For instance, some of our friends in the diaspora, they are against the referendum. But they are seeing people, some of them get dual citizens. We are saying, let's grant you the opportunity. You can have your 2 passports, because under our constitution, if you are not citizen of Liberia, you can't own property. So join us. You can own property even though you are carrying 2 Liberian passports. Now you can own property. And the confusion should not be the very amendment says if you want to be president, all you have to do is just relinquish one of your citizenship, your foreign citizenship, and renew a Liberian. If you are a Liberian citizen, you can become an American citizen and carry 2 passports. You can still.
We also want to extend thanks to the state broadcaster EWC and the listeners outside Moserado following this broadcast. Next question.
Thank you very much, Minister. I'm Cyrus Hammond. I work for Fabric 101.1 FM. We call on opposition politicians to join the campaign. I think from what I've observed is that the skepticism about the referendum, especially from the opposition and some Liberians, is that given what is unfolding in neighboring countries, the president wants to use this medium to prolong himself in office. What's the guarantee can you give?
Are you saying that it will become those that will keep it very public for long, for instance?
What's the guarantee can you give Liberians?
Okay.
Can you give that?
It's always, you're quite correct. The people are skeptical because they believe that the president may stay in power may run for third term. That the president does not have intention, and he will not. This president will run for only 2 terms. This president will run for only 2 terms. You can take this to the bank. This president will run for only 2 terms. This president wants to be the only president that will serve for 11 years. The president does not have any intention in running for 12 years. If the president had an intention, the president would have waited for his second term. So to get the argument, even if the president is in his second term, and the president decides to reduce the tenure, they will raise the same argument. Even if the president is in his second term, like Mrs. Saliba in her second term, and she decided to reduce the tenure to 5 years, or even 4 years, they will raise the same argument. So their argument is to suggest to me that the Constitution with that particular provision will never be changed. Because anytime any president attempts to change it, their suspicion is that president wants to run for a third term. Because if the president changes the Constitution today, it means that he can run for third term according to the argument. Even if he goes for second term, which is another 6 years, and in a 6 years he decides to change it, they will make the same argument they are making that the president wants to run for third term. Then all they are saying that we should never change the provision of the president tenure. That is the argument. And if the Liberian people want it that way, no problem. The president can go for 12 years. The president can go for 12 years and will never change that provision. What's about the issue of the senators? How does the senator tenure go with their argument that the president wants to remain powerful for 3 terms or something? So are we saying that even the senatorial tenure we shouldn't change it because the president will run for 2 or 3rd term? Is that what they're saying? So there's no basis to the argument. There's no reason to be afraid. I mean, all of you guys are educated people. With that argument, you think we'll ever change the presidential tenure? I ask you, somebody can answer. You think we'll ever change the presidential tenure? You guys are educated people. Because if your argument is today, my man, the president changes, will go for 3rd term. Okay, the president will say, okay, let me wait. Let me enjoy my other 6 years. When I say they're coming to figure down and change it, they will come out again and say, my man, the president will go for 3rd term because their argument is once you change the provision, then it becomes a new provision. The president can enjoy that because they're saying laws are not retroactive. But people will have to trust their leaders. Why you want to be in power for? If the president really wants to stay in power, we'll say, my man, let enjoy us 12 years, and then you change it again. But because the president is saying, even my second term, God willing, I want it to be 5 years. My second and final term of office, I want it to be 5 years. Let's change it now so that people can know that I'm not selfish. I too want to benefit from the 5 years. I don't want to be selfish and say, let me enjoy 12 years now, deny other people 12 years. But at least I can also benefit from the 5 years that I want other people to benefit from. So there's no need to be afraid. We just got to tell our opposition friends because maybe there's too much dishonesty among our friends in the opposition. They say one thing and they really mean different thing. You know what they say they say evil thinkers are evil doers, correct? So when you start thinking evilly in your mind, that means you always believe that other people will do the same thing. So there's no need to be afraid. Let's change it because senators, they think are separate propositions. The senators are separate, the members of the House of Representatives are separate. The issue of the senators, Councilor Sifa want to say something.
And what I wanted to say is that first time in history, since 1847, we haven't had an opportunity of the president trying to reduce his own tenure. Normally, presidents of Liberia will always fight. For example, if you look at it, 1955, the plot that failed. It was all about the constitutional amendment for the president to run for as many times he wanted to. But there is the first president in history who is fighting to reduce his own tenure. There is still contention. His own tenure, he said, look, I look at this for long. I don't think I need to be there for so long. Let me amend it while I'm in power, and let me benefit from the amendment. You say no. So if you say no, then it means the president will stay for 12 years.
Of course. So you want the president to stay for 12 years, we can stay there for 12 years, then we'll still reduce it. But we have to reduce the tenure. Greater politicians got to understand that we got to reduce the tenure. You want to be in power too long, we got to reduce it. The people of Liberia want the tenure to be reduced, so we'll reduce it. The first they started celebrating. I don't know why people will be happy against changing the tenure of office from reducing it. A lot of people don't want to be reduced. Some of them running for senator, they still want to be there for 9 years. If you really believe that you'll go do something for the people, then you don't have to be worried. Let the people have the opportunity to always come by and decide who our next leaders will be. And these are the reasons why we want to change the constitution. The issue of dual citizenship, for instance, how does that imply that the president wants to remain powerful for as many times as the opposition is saying? So there's no need to be afraid, my brother.
Other actors in the Liberia Council of Churches are saying that you push the referendum.
You know, there are laws in this country. You know, there are laws in the country. The laws say after 1 year they say after 1 year we should hold a referendum. The law they not on sentiments. Sometimes people say the country is the country of law. But the same time people say violate the law. So I don't understand where the people coming from. Only two options we have. You vote for it or you defeat it. That's what we can do. So those who want to postpone should go and defeat it. Yeah. But if you know in the interest of the country, then why you want to postpone? Just vote for it because people. So many people making the argument, where were they? When the UN spent almost $1 million supporting Global Sky Commission, where were they? So many very people, including some people in the media. When the president recently started campaigning for this thing, they said, oh, the president violating the law. The president breaking the law. The simple window for they said there's no sufficient awareness. How you want the president to do awareness? How can awareness be held? In secret? In a darknet? Or we got to put poster up. So I don't understand Liberian people. Some of them are lawyers. Then they go to the Supreme Court and say Supreme Court should cancel the referendum because there's no sufficient awareness or information. How do you expect the president to get information if we don't put publicity out? If we don't speak for the referendum? So the country, I always say to you, most of our friends in the opposition, they send an example for you to think whether they really serious people. Are we speaking to the opposition leader? I know you're other town. I saw it there. You gotta join the process. If you love Liberia, you gotta join the process. My big brother, Ellis Cummings, you gotta join the process. I know he has said get family people in the United States. He wanted to get to be dual citizen, to have dual citizenship. Some of us, we may not have family, but we think it is in the interest of the. We may not have family now. We may have family tomorrow. Some of us do have family now. So we need to support this thing because it's in the interest of our country. Liberian citizens should not be denied their right to own citizenship. How do you feel if you are Liberian citizen? Any one of you guys in Liberia now? How would you feel if you left this country? You and your wife left this country. You went and born your child in America, for instance, and that child became an American citizen. Are you saying that child should be denied the right to own property in Liberia? Anyone can answer the question. Are you saying that, or are we saying? There's no poor woman child like my mom, poor woman son in this country, poor woman in this country. Who doesn't want their child to go to America? Look at this big opposition put when they live in America and telling people to go demonstrate. Where they living in America they living? They want American citizenship. Some of them want fly with American passport. I challenge anybody in their hall now who say you want to go to America, I'll give you something. Anybody come on and say you want to go to America, you can prove it that you really want to go to America, I will give you something. Tell me what you want, I'll give it to you. You put it here, who you want to go to America? So joke on there. You sure you want to go to America? You president? What a many? Which are the entities they coming from? Which are the entities they coming from? If I tell us, oh man, there may be a 5 minute waiting you. But you know you want everybody want to go to America. If you go to America, you want status. And to own status too, either you're permanent resident or you're citizen. You know, citizenship comes with privileges and benefits. Therefore, we cannot deny our brothers in America, for instance, for trying to get an American citizenship. When they get American citizenship, you know the benefit they bring to our country. They always make the argument. So when you gotta make the argument of our brothers in the diaspora, that they bring millions of dollars here through remittances. Are we saying we should deny these people because of what? Because someone don't have the privilege to go to America today, we should deny them? They need to join this bandwagon. Let's support the dual citizenship. For instance, reading too much in Liberia in October, we say let's change the date from 2nd Tuesday in October to 2nd Tuesday in November. And somebody say, no, don't do it. So we just, because it is coming from a certain group of people, so other people just have to be opposed to it. Why this country would be like this? If it's not me, it should not be you. Even if it is good, let's tear it down. Why? Why should we be like this, my brother and sister? When something happens, I say, American, great democracy. You're running there. But you're undermining your own country. Gentlemen, man, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen of the press. What is the evil in changing the date for? You want senator to be there for 9 years? Every day you're on the senator then back. The senator then corrupt. The senator, the way to do it, the man corrupt, you reduce the tenure. So when you know the men are doing a job, if you believe anybody get problem, then you go to the ballot box. The people will decide they will give you opportunity to say, well, we're not doing the right thing, so we're changing you. Or we'll keep you there. But at least let's reduce it. 2 years, 9 years too long. 9 years too long. And these are decisions that came from the people of Liberia. Those are listening to me, Liberian people. You made a decision.
Yes, sir.
Don't let politicians try to fool you. It is your decision that we're trying to implement. So let's reduce it. The president said 6 years too long to be president of Liberia. Everybody said, I want to be president. I want to be president. I want to be president. So we say, we'll reduce it to 5. So all of you can get a chance. All of you guys are here. Some of you, all of you get presidential ambition. Of course, all of you get presidential ambition. It's very good. Because any one of you can be president tomorrow. Any one of you. Any one of you can be president tomorrow. But it will keep 1 million pounds for 12 years. How many of you have the opportunity? By the time you don't go 12, all of them go 12, 24. You check your ages. By the time you put 24 to your age, right now you're very old. The country is young. But when we do the 10 years, oh man, 10 years, 24 years, you talk about 4 years extra. You talk about almost 3 terms. 3 persons enjoying right there. 2 persons will take it. So we say, no, let's reduce it. So you're not supportive, man. The press people, let's join the bad work on the Yes campaign. I don't believe that any president will leave from here today and say, you know, on the no side. Because it's in your interest. It's in all our interest. Someone have many in the opposition, they already getting old. They still want to be president. Say, let's reduce it. He said, no, you want to be, well, that's somebody spend 12 years, you'll get an opportunity. You will not get an opportunity to be president again. So by reducing it, we're getting an opportunity. Because you know the president going for 2. You go for 2, Liberian people will give it to him. Because the man, he will do things that the people will see. Change this country. We're real development here. But after you, what next? I see some of my young friends. Any politician who are campaigning against the president, they already know you're selfish. They already know you're selfish. Like, only about yourself. But if you're not selfish, you will support this referendum. The questions are very simple. The issues are very simple. The issues are not complicated. The issue is not about the president. The issue is about the country. I'll talk to people, other lawyers, some of the lawyers I've been hearing there, oh, they come to them. They'll join the bell. I'll reach out to them. I'll reach out to some of my friends. I'll speak to the leaders of the opposition. To say, look, this is not, you don't have to be opposed to show that you're opposition. Because sometimes in your country, the only way people know you're opposition, so anything the government says, you got to oppose it. And people know you're opposition. But you got to talk for your country. The next question.
Thank you.
Alfonso Toy from Reuters, UCS. Thank you very much. You mentioned few propositions. You just said 8, but it's like you couldn't mention 6. Can you explain what 2?
You know, because the people wrote the Constitution, every little issues were raised in different articles. For instance, the tenure of the office of the Speaker is not in the same article as the tenure of the legislature. No, the legislature. So because those things are different, the pro tem, for instance, the pro tem gets 9 years, but you have a 6-year tenure. So you have to amend all of those. So because they are in separate articles, so therefore you got to make them separate.
As president, if he wants to continue, isn't it?
No.
President, I'm saying now.
No, President, we are running for one more term.
No, I'm not saying, but he can be qualified, isn't it?
No, but every president didn't qualify.
In that category, if
every
that
president will be qualified. The president still get one more term to run for. And you could decide to keep him for 6 years. You get one more term. The president will for 3rd term. I mean, take that one from already story. There will be no 3rd term yet.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Minister. Let's take
There will be no
another.
3rd term. You can take my word to the bank.
The bank.
Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. My name is Bafle Kamara. I work for ERBC.
Thank you.
How come news about the halting of the referendum by the High Court sunk into the public, and this latest news that the referendum will go ahead is still unknown to many? And my question has a B.
Have you read the Supreme Court opinion?
My question has a B. Is the executive, like what you're doing now, interpreting the latest ruling from the Supreme Court, or you campaigning for the preposition?
When people, sometimes people don't listen and they don't understand well, they just go back, that's it. Sometimes they listen but they don't understand well. When the Supreme Court made a decision, we just saw on Facebook people running around and say Supreme Court canceled the referendum. Well, we don't depend on, we don't run government on Facebook. We're waiting for the opinion of the Supreme Court to be delivered to us through the offices of the Attorney General, and the Solicitor General. And when the opinion came to all, the opinion all around, you can read the opinion. The opinion is very clear, crystal clear. I don't know where the book came from. Their story that the referendum has been stopped. These are the dangerous elements in our country. Oh, they get victory. What is victory? You presented 3 issues. 1, he said there's no sufficient time. Supreme Court said no, we can't determine what is sufficient time because already you see the president get posted all in the street say vote for the change of the constitution. The second issue is say election commission can't hold it December 8th. The Supreme Court says the election commission is within her rights to hold it December 8th because they say 1 year prior, not 1 year less than. The other issue is say, but they're combining all. Supreme Court say, yeah, you get right, you get each one out, one are true. The law says you cannot combine everything separate. Election commission, don't fill any ballot paper that combine the proposition. Now all the Supreme Court said, then what is it? It said, don't fill any ballot paper in contrary to the resolution. Okay. But you can fill ballot paper that is consistent with the resolution. Now all the Supreme Court said, then what is it, cancel? If you bring that resolution that say anywhere in the place say cancel the whole referendum or resign from the government today. Because our friends are just lying. They anything that depends on social lie. They just misled the public. Oh, Supreme Court, there's no victory. The victory for the people of Liberia. So, brother, John all and you John a yes vote, correct? Thank you for answering the affirmative.
The issue about the referendum. But do you don't think that more awareness needs to be given in the very vernacular? More awareness needs to be given in the very vernaculars of Liberia?
I agree with you. We're going to start now. We're starting the awareness now. By this interview, this live interview, and I want to thank all of you guys for coming. But by this live interview, the awareness has started. And all of us are going to join. This is now a party campaign. That's the reason why you see I'm having this press conference at the residence of the President of the Republic of Liberia. I did not go to CDC headquarters to go there because this is now a CDC issue. This is an issue for the country and the Liberian people. I've been trying to call my big brother Tewo Gonglo, but I've been getting I always listen to what you know. Tell what myself will resemble correct. I always say that my brother, that my friend, that my people I love him. But you're gonna join the campaign if you love this country. You will join the campaign. All of them will join the campaign. Even I'll call my people like Alice Comey, the chairman of the opposition. Don't mind our chairman before. I know what the American. When you chairman, the American come to you, all kind of story. Oh, chairman, you gotta do the one. Chairman, you gotta do. Even the wrong, they'll tell you they won't do it. Or when you love the country, you gotta do the right thing. Chairman should say what they say, chairman. When you're a leader, they say you gotta lead. You can't let people be leading you. Wherever I know he's campaigning in Maryland, he's a man of respect. You're listening to the people's voices. And we join the campaign. Not listening to the children who can say, oh, let's go demonstrate, let's go demonstrate. Some of them, all demonstrations will not be popular in the country. The only popularity comes from notoriety. When you're very notorious, then they become popular. When you get something good, they will not join the good thing of the country. So we'll call our friends in the opposition. I'm sure they will join us. Because it is in their interest. It is in the interest of the people in the opposition. You know what it means for the president to stay 12 years in power, somebody else get very old. The president going to make 5 more years, 6 plus 5 are 11. Then whoever win the next time after president, we will go for only 10. The majority of us have opportunity to start running for president in this country. Somebody got 9 years. Representative, and most of them won't be represented. Forget because represented at 73 seats. When you live in that district, so you do somebody, they say the man want my job. The job for you. The job for the Liberian people. Even the president is for the Liberian people. So you can't be crying the poor woman that really want to reduce it. Who say, let's go back to the people of Liberia to decide. People want my job. No, the job not for you. And we are happy that the members of the legislature, this 54, both the House of Representatives agreed that they will reduce their tenure because it's been a war to get the guys to agree to reduce their own tenure. Even the presidency. I understand during the debate that when people went to the president, Mr. President, you really want to reduce your tenure from 5 to 6 years? Why you can't enjoy your own 12 years, president? Why you always thinking about yourself? Why every time in this country is only for self? Why you can't think about the people? The president wanted 4 years.
Yeah.
The president wanted 4 years. Then why you always think about yourself? Let's reduce it in the 4. Some people when they did it, Mr. President, the frequency of election will be too much if we reduce it to 4. And the country don't have the money to pay. It's okay, I agree with our debate, but we still gotta reduce it. Just do it far. So some members in the legislature using the second requirement by getting 2/3 of the legislature to say, you know what, we'll change it to 5 years. And the president said, I don't want to be selfish. I want to make sure that 5 years I will benefit from it too. So let me be my first term and reduce it. Some people don't want to get a president, but the way I hear people and the president reduce it, will say that for 12. They will never ever reduce that tenure. It will use that logic of the argument. Because anytime you change, when I do it first term or I do it second term, if the logic is whenever it's reduced, then I can run for a new term of office, I can go for additional. So instead of going for, you know what, instead of going for 3 terms, I'll go for 4 terms. Because I reduce it in my second term, then I'll still get 2 more terms that the argument I'm using. So I'll go for 4. Why I want 3? I want 4. If that is the argument, then we'll just wait for my second term. Right now it will delay. The next election, the select delay will delay. We can wait for 2023 after the president win. If that is your argument, then instead of the president going for 3 now, the president will go for 4. But then the president argument, the president said, only have 1 more term to go. And that 1 term will be 5. So whoever comes after me, the president will also enjoy 2 terms, 5 years. But I, as the president, I will not enjoy 12 years, I will only enjoy 11 years because I would have, the people of Liberia would have reduced the tenure to 5 years. So I will only enjoy my first 6 years, but I will not have an opportunity to enjoy additional 6 years, but instead I will enjoy 5 years. So let's join this, let's see this as an opportunity to change, to make history, all of us, to make history and reduce the tenure. People remember us for doing this. Most of the young, your children, they come here too. They have opportunity to run the country, man. The country not for a certain group of people. For every one of us to enjoy.
Thank you very much. My name is Ibrahim Sharif and I write for the Liberia News Agency. Studies have shown that it is an attempt by past leaders to perpetuate themselves into presidency that have plunge this country into civil war. So why do you think opposition candidates are against this great endeavors?
I don't know. Because sometimes I can be asking God, say, well, what happened to the people? You saw you praying so the man can reduce the tendency against the law so you can have the kind of power you want to keep it. Because you're thinking, damn it, when they reduce it, when I can't there, myself want to stay long so they want to keep it the way it's looking. Now, only selfish individuals, greedy politicians, greedy and wicked politicians are looking for all the adjectives they use on people who are thinking in that manner. I don't believe that any politician will campaign against it. I want to see the politician that will campaign against it. Any politician that will campaign against this referendum and say you don't want to reduce, for instance, the senatorial tenure to 7 years because you want to be senator for 9 years and keep suffering on people, then you're not a good senator. The Liberian people, any candidate who will not campaign for anything, vote against that candidate. Because you said we should reduce the senatorial tenure from 9 years to 7 years. And now there are people who are running to be senator, they say, no, don't change it, because I want to be there for 9 years. So you want to be there 9 years, so the Liberian people, the people now have the opportunity, people from Monserrato, or from Grand Gida, or from Nimba, or from Lofa, or from Babulu, or from Sando, or anywhere, Grand Crew, or Maryland. They should have the opportunity to always make decisions. 9 years is too long of a time. Some of them have been there for 18 years, 19 years. They say going, they won't go for 27, 34, 36, and all that kind of stuff. Let's change this thing. So I don't understand that. My brother, all the questions, I don't think that my boy, I always believe that they're just being selfish.
Let's take the final question.
My name is my name is Dennis Nipsing, and I report for Joy FM and Joy TV. Okay, Mr. Minister, I'd like to know why is the president picture being placed on the banner that is around? And secondly, is the president pushing for this referendum because of his children abroad?
Right now, the poor campaigning, some poor campaigning with brown skin picture on their picture. So that brown skin running to be senator. Some poor campaigning right now, some poor campaigning right now, they get their senator brother picture on their ballot paper, on their posters. On their posters. The question is, when you post somebody's picture on a poster, what does that indicate? The president is endorsing the decision. The reason why the president said my picture, when people see the president's picture on these banners, the people say the president is supporting it. The president say, I support these things. The president go and put your hand up. What is the difference putting your hand on and putting your picture on your ballot, on your banner? You know, it's good you ask that question. Because someone is wondering what something has gone wrong with our people in this country. You're wondering what something has gone wrong with our people in this country. Somebody say the president, who told you the president picture will not be on the ballot paper, but the president pictures will be on the banner because the president supports those propositions. And so people are making an argument and got no business. Someone else putting brown skin picture, someone else celebrating brown skin, someone else celebrating different people. So that brown skin wanting to be senator. Somebody get Liberty Party t-shirt, that Liberty Party running to be senator. But they're just using the party as a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? As a vehicle. Why you put symbols on this thing? The president himself is symbolizing his support. To say, I support these things, so join me. So when you see it, you know who the president is advocating for. The president says stop rape and put a picture there. Does that mean what's the implication? The president is saying, why do I always say the president needs to speak for these things? The president got to talk to tell people to stop rape. Why are you saying that? So the president speaking and putting a picture is the same thing. When the president speaks, that means he supports something. When the president says stop rape, it's because the president's voice is strong. And you can put a picture on this thing because people will listen to the president's voice. So you don't have to be president, we are. Even other presidents around the world will do the same thing. So what was the second question?
Is he doing it because he wants his kids to be citizens? because he wants his children to be citizens?
No, but I mean, so that only president one for using gas on in America. 90% of someone represented here, the children here, the grandchildren, someone that are citizens. All the boyfriend that's all been running that president children. All the president get president children. All the president children here, all the boy here, president children there. Whether we the president of the country, so devil like children with everybody. So all the boy here, America, president children, all the Liberian are president children. So the president want all his children here in America. Someone in 50, someone older than him. Everybody to get citizenship. That's the reason why the president want. Now, it don't have to be a biological children. Once you are a Liberian citizen, you are a child of the president. Someone else older than the president. Somebody president children older than him. The president get. Right now I'm told, in America alone, we have about 400,000 Liberians.
So that his children.
400,000 Liberians, correct? And majority of them, if not majority, but most of them have American citizenship. And there are people right now, they're calling all, they want to be on TV, they want to remain in America, they don't want to come back. Except they're saying that they don't want it, so they already can get on the plane and come back, like also can tell maybe Donald Trump, if you was saying, don't bring out your crazy net toy. But I just thought of a very small joke. But it's very serious. Liberians living in the diaspora deserve to own citizenship abroad. They need opportunity, and we have to respect that. If we have the same opportunity, we'll take advantage of those. So we should not be angry, we should not be upset because it's not all today, so we can't support our friends, our brothers and sisters. And some of whom are supporting us, so we should support them. It's a good thing for dual citizenship. It's a good thing. Even though the dual citizenship has some restriction, which is also good. Because we want it to be fair. We don't want to get certain people advantage and other people disadvantage. So there are Liberians who will now go to the States. So because you not go, you have certain privileges too. So those who go to America, they have, or anywhere in the world, they have dual citizenship, they have rights to own property in this country. So we should support that. And so it's not a wrong thing. So the president not doing it because of his biological children. The president is doing it because of all Liberians who may have it now or who will have it in the future. Some of us are praying to have it. That's the reason why. How many Liberians people play TV yet? Anyone of you can play TV? If Donald Trump or the next president of America come out and say, gentlemen, all Liberians play TV, you have opportunity to get American citizenship, you will not be happy? If we are here, who will not be happy? No, everybody will be happy. So we should encourage our parents. We should not join this crab mentality. And not me, it can be somebody, it can be another person. Let us be supportive. Let us be more positive about our country.
You just mentioned something that triggered my question. So my name is Viviana and I report for the Heritage newspaper. Yeah, you talk about the referendum, not the referendum, but the dual citizenship. Then you care to make some of those limitations.
No, for instance, they say if you are getting dual citizenship, you can't run to be president. You can't run for elected office. But if you want to run for elected office, you gotta relinquish your foreign citizenship. You don't have dual citizenship. You don't have that extra privilege of being a dual citizen, where you have a right to run to be president of Liberia. So if I want to run to be president of Liberia, I must equip myself to you. So you and myself will have the same privileges that you and the other people will not have extra. Because you know, to be a dual citizen, you're citizen for two countries. We say for you to be president of Liberia, you must be citizen only for Liberia. So you can say today, you can relinquish that citizenship, then you get a right to contest. Because for instance, you were born in Liberia. Your parents are pure Liberian citizens. Not naturalized. Two parents are original Liberian born in Bokonjide. And you are a Liberian, you went to America and you got dual citizenship. You got an American passport, American citizen and made your dual citizen. You can't come back now in the country and say you want to run to be president. We say, we deny you. We're saying, even though you get a foreign citizenship, relinquish that foreign citizenship. So you just remain a Liberian citizen, then you contest, then you must on the same path, on the same wavelength. That's why the law is saying, we think the law is fair. If you want to go your two paths, maybe run away, then you get, wouldn't it be having your property right your right to own property. Some people don't want to be president of Liberia, but they want to have the right to own property here. You know what I'm saying? And that right should be given to them. We, the politicians, who want to protect their positions and other interests, we can say, okay, there are limitations.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Julius, contact from Fortune TV.
Fortune?
Fortune Television. I would like to know, maybe the Solicitor General can respond to that. At the climax of the entire voting process, whether in terms of the determination of the votes, whether it will be by a simple majority or to tear up the total vote cast.
So they're already president. They're already president. The president here on the last referendum, will pass it, correct? So the benchmark that will use, will be the same benchmark when the Supreme Court is very determination. There was confusion whether 75% of the people will participate or 75% of the people. 2/3 of the people who participate in the election should be the one that voted, that should vote for it. So it means that 10%, 2/3 that 10 should vote for it. Suppose say 2/3 the rest of vote. So the Supreme Court may opinion, I think 2/3 of the people that voted. Not 2/3 of the citizens that are supposed to vote. 2/3 of the people that voted should vote for it. That's what the law says, correct? Yeah. So that's what we'll do. So at the end of the day, I sure want all of you John will get overwhelming support. Because you're a yes vote. Forget that, but nobody will vote no for anything. Just vote for yes. The yes campaign, tell me, who on the yes campaign? Tell me, I clap for yes. Man, I'm running for office so can reduce it. So we are outside. Along with my office, along with the press, I'll be reaching out to the president of Liberia, to all you guys in the media. We'll be having a special. This is not political party thing. Let's move political party will support this process. But this agenda is being led by Liberian citizens. The reason why I've been speaking to our friends, some of our major institutions, I will even go speak to the Council of Churches. Maybe they need some understanding. I'll go speak to the Council of Churches president, who is my big brother. A big brother of mine, Bishop Kodu Brown. Very reasonable person. Very reasonable. But people got understanding. Sometimes they're small down, they need some understanding of the law. They just need some understanding of the issues. I don't think they have any personal interest in trying to stop it. Because the bishop does not want to run for office. But what the bishop wants to see is the good for our country. And I'm sure, Bishop, wherever you are, as a big brother, you will join me and join the country in this process and join the president. We'll try to change it. I'll be talking to my big brother, Tewon Konglo, wherever Tewon is. You're listening to me. The big brother, you'll understand that this is not for a party, this is about your country. We all got to join this process. And our friends in the opposition chairpersons, political parties, standard bearers. We shouldn't be selfish. This is not a victory for CDC or for the president. This is a victory for our country. So join the process. We'll be talking to everybody, civil society organizations. My man, what a man named Blue, what a Blue boy name for election? Oscar Blue. You were one of the men who was saying president of violating the constitution by campaigning soon. I don't know where they want to go, but Oscar, you my man. Forget that thing. Come on, Boo. Let's join the process. Let's join the process. This is in our country interest. We'll join everybody, civil society organization. I want to thank you. And we'll continue to hold this thing. I'll be talking to the Minister of Information to bring the press, to get the press involved. This is a victory for our country. There will be a victory for our country. Your children will remember that you play a role in trying to make sure you're getting hope, political hope. Political hope. So I talked to the Minister, the press director here. The deputy press secretary, deputy minister for information here. My office will be here. We'll be talking to every member. We'll be talking to all the people that got over the vernaculars. We'll be speaking in different dialects. Beginning this week, we got to lead a campaign. The election committee announced to you that they are printing the ballot papers. There'll be different symbols. For instance, I'm told they have the passport for dual citizen, correct? Yeah. The passport, they get a big chair for reduction in intended for the year. When you vote for the big chair, when you see the chair big, just vote for it. But then you see the big chair, you vote for it. Don't look at the small chair, look at the small chair like the one for the most. Okay, don't vote for the big chair. The big chair are greedy people. The big chair are for greedy people. Vote for the small chair, the small one. Because the big chair, for one eat plenty, they want to eat everything. So don't vote for the big chair. Vote for the small chair. Anyway, you say small chair, vote for it. Anyway, you see, well, the rainy season, what? The sun and the rain, yeah?
Yeah, November and then October.
The sun not for November, correct?
Yeah.
You go for the sun.
For dry season.
For dry season. Because the campaign in the rainy season is tough. October is tough. So the electoral commission come with the signal. We'll all be in that process. We'll be reaching out to you guys. You know what I'm saying? We'll be reaching out to you guys. I want you guys, each and every one of you, to join the process. I'm speaking as the Minister of State, not as a CEC person. I want you guys to join my. So we're going to set up a special Yes Campaign movement. That all the presidents, all of you guys who are here will be part of it. We'll be having our own meeting. You know what I'm saying? We'll join the president, my man, Alfonso Tuet. Yeah. Very radical guy. You can give me a hard time. Alfonso Tuet, you got to be part of the process here. You got to be Isa. Where a man send team. You know what I'm saying? Tima, I know you. All with that, but Tima, where you at? You got to join the president. Philip Wizard. Oh, my man, Philip Wizard. Run this here.
Yeah, Philip Brown.
Philip Brown. All the boys gotta come. But man, all of y'all gotta come. Gotta join the president. If our country, but man, you guys don't want to be, you don't want to run for office, but we gotta reduce the tenure so we can hold it. We can hold the guy running for office accountable. We gotta hold him running for office accountable. Philip Brown, my big brother Philip. Where you at? I don't know Philip yet. Philip now?
He's listening to you.
Philip now?
Yeah.
Yeah, my man. Philip's a very nice guy. Very nice. Very brilliant gentleman. Very brilliant. Smart. Yeah, very smart. I like Philip. Run this here. When I say smart guy in the press. Look at smart media guy is smart media. Don't get me wrong now. That's some media guy there. It's not correct. Yeah, I don't want to bring all the media people. Yeah, that's true. But one of the guys he kept my recording wrong. I didn't go to the. I don't even know where the food came from. The message Maggie said the man died from food. Can you imagine that? My boy all around there, I don't even know where the food came from. Whether that's true or not true, I don't even know, but the man said, the man changed the whole thing right there, my guy said the man that. How you can say that, man? How you can say that? Then he sent me that message, he said, my man, sorry for what I said. But he said put my recording on so that he can be laughing. You know, when you enjoy it, people can say, but don't worry, don't man, I'll run it behind you. He said, my guy, try you, I want to threaten people. I said, I can't even to see people killing chickens and I ain't. And I said, well, I'm running behind you. But all of us got to join this process. So we're leaving from here today. This is the beginning of change for our country. Those running for senator, let them do their campaign. But they got to help us. So we charge them that if you don't campaign for reduction in your tenure, the people should vote against you because you are against the people. You are against the people. So we're going to, press secretary, we're going to make sure that we set up a very robust campaign committee on the referendum, the Yes Vote movement. We're going to launch it. We're going to launch it along the media. We're going to speak to Charles Coffey, the publisher association. What they call it, publisher association? Yeah, I'm going to speak to you guys. We're all going to be there for us. This is about country, man. This is about like Europe. It's not about political party. Let's make history together. Yeah, so let's be part of it. We'll be part of it. Let's make history together, gentlemen. This is a special appeal. Let's make history together. Let's make our country great. You know what I'm saying? People remember us. Don't mind the greedy politicians and who want to read about. People remember who were not Ryan and say, these are the guys who led the movement and said they wanted to reduce tenure. I hear one senator always say, we got ready to so you're being Ryan for a challenging day, nothing happened. We want to change something for the country. And every day you want to be opposed to everything. So I want to tell you thank you. So I'm going to ask the press secretary to work closely with the media. The media is very, very critical to make sure that we run the campaign here. We get about 14 days, correct? Today what? Today the 23rd. So we'll get 14 days. Intensive media campaign, EFBC, all the talk show people, the journalists, the different Facebook people. Guys, let's do it, man. Let's make it happen. Let's get the job done. We'll celebrate together. We'll find our own party. The Independent Voice Party, the People of Abroad Party. We'll celebrate the victory and enjoy ourselves. So thank you. God bless you.